deep dive. Today we're looking into sources that promise something pretty profound. The seventh secret to awaken your best self. And it's built on this really, kind of astonishing idea that the God we're searching for already here, fully, in every atom of creation.
And the Vedas, they really emphasize this. It's not like God made the world and then, stepped back. The concept is he pervaded the world. The energy, the material stuff, it unfolded from him.
Okay.
So it's an everywhere presence to the same extent as the sources say, fully 100% present.
Right, 100%. Everywhere. Which leads to the obvious question, doesn't it? If that's true, if God is in every single atom, why don't we see that? Why is it a secret at all?
Well, that's the crux of it. The issue isn't with the presence itself. It's with us, with our senses, our material senses. They fundamentally limit what we can perceive. They're just not built, you could say, to register the divine.
Okay, so our tools aren't right for the job. The sources have this great analogy, right? The ants on the sugar hill. Yeah, so picture this. 2 ants, they walk all day on this huge hill made entirely of sugar. Same path, same hill. And at the end, one ant is just buzzing. Wow, that was amazing. Sugar everywhere, so sweet. But the second ant, totally baffled, says, sugar? What are you talking about? That was a salt hill we were on.
Right. And the punchline, or the reveal, is when they check the second ant's mouth. They force it open and find this little ball of salt stuck inside. So its entire experience, every grain of sugar it touched, was filtered.
Filtered through the salt. So it's experiencing salt in a way.
Exactly. It perceived the world through that salt. And the point for us, for you listening, is that we do this. We want to perceive God, this omnipresent reality. But what do we actually perceive? Our own material senses perception, as the sources put it. We're tasting the salt ball of our own conditioning.
That seems, almost a bit bleak, doesn't it? Like, if our senses are that fundamentally flawed for this task, how can we ever perceive beyond the material? Are we just stuck?
It's not necessarily bleak, maybe just realistic about the tool set. Our senses are fantastic for navigating the material world, seeing chairs, hearing sounds. But trying to perceive spirit with material senses is like trying to measure light with a ruler. You need a different kind of instrument, or you need to recalibrate the one you have.
So just knowing the fact intellectually God is everywhere, that doesn't actually remove the salt ball, does it?
No, not at all. That's just information. It doesn't change the perception mechanism.
Which brings us to the solution offered in the text. It's not just knowing, it's doing. It's this concept of bhakti, devotion.
Precisely. Bhakti is presented as the active process, the way to recalibrate. You have to consciously work on your perception. And the key first step, according to the scriptures, isn't trying to see him everywhere all at once. That's too big a jump. You have to start by attaching your mind, your focus, your devotion to him in one place, maybe his form, his name, his presence in a specific context.
Okay. So focus first, then expand.
Yes. You practice there, you deepen the connection there. And then slowly, gradually, you might start to perceive that presence extending outwards everywhere else.
There's another analogy used for this, isn't there? The one about the milk and the sick cow, right? It illustrates that the potential is there, but it needs effort to become useful. Like, the milk is in the cow, technically, but the cow's sick, weak. The milk inside isn't helping it get stronger. It's just there.
Exactly. So what do? You have to actively intervene. You extract the milk.
Then you transform it, right? Convert it to yogurt, add some black pepper, some activating element.
Yes. And then you feed that transformed substance back to the cow. Only then does the original source, the milk, actually provide strength.
So the source is present, God is present, but bhakti, that active transformation and effort, is needed to make it beneficial, to actually feel the strength.
That transformation process, the yogurt, the pepper, that really points towards the quality or the depth of the devotion. It's not just going through the motions. We can all perform acts of bhakti, go to the temple, say the prayers, chant the names. That's the basic practice, the extracting of the milk, maybe.
But that's not the whole story.
No. The real key, the transformative element, is increasing the bhav, the depth of feeling, the emotional connection, the intensity of that devotion. That's the black pepper.
So bhav is the difference maker. Can you give an example of what that difference looks like?
Well, think about the name Ram. Anyone can say Ram Ram. A common person might say it quite mechanically, but the sources describe Lord Shiv saying Ram Ram. For him, the bhav is so immense, so profound, that he gets thrilled, ecstatic, just at uttering the first syllable, Ra.
Wow. Same words, vastly different impact because of the internal state.
Precisely. The depth of that connection, that bhav, determines the power, the outcome. It's not just the action, but the heart behind it.
Okay, this idea of Bhav having real, tangible power leads us to a really famous story, doesn't it?
Mm.
The story of Sakshi Gopal.
Ah, yes, Sakshi Gopal. It's often told to illustrate this exact point, how deep Pav can literally change reality. It's a powerful narrative.
So set it up for us. How does it begin?
It starts with two Brahmins. They're on a pilgrimage, a long journey to Vrindavan. One is older and quite wealthy, the other is young and, well, poor. And throughout this difficult journey, the young Brahmin serves the older one with incredible dedication, just total selfless service.
And the older Brahmin, he's moved by this, right? He feels indebted.
Deeply indebted. So much so that he makes a promise. He vows to give his daughter in marriage to the young man as repayment for his service.
That's a huge promise. But the young man, he's realistic, isn't he? He knows the family back home.
Exactly. He knows the wealthy family, the son especially, will likely object. He foresees the conflict. So he says, okay, make this vow, but make it here, in front of Gopal. Gopal is the deity of Lord Krishna in the temple there.
Ah, so calling on God is the witness.
Yes. He declares, let Gopal Ji be the Sakshi, the witness to this promise.
Okay, so the vow is made before the deity, then they return home to Orissa.
And just as the young Brahmin predicted, trouble starts. The old Brahmin's family, particularly his son, is outraged. They refuse the match. They call the young Brahmin an opportunist, corrupt, accuse him of taking advantage of the old man. They pressure the father.
And the father caves.
He does. Under pressure, he tries to backtrack, claiming he was maybe confused or intoxicated, you know. He denies the vow ever happened, or at least not seriously.
So the young Brahmin is left with nothing. Just this promise made miles away in front of an idol.
Right. He has no worldly power, no way to enforce this against a wealthy, influential family, except he has his witness,
Gopal.
Gopalji. So he makes this seemingly impossible demand. He says, fine, let the witness testify. Let Gopalji come here to our village and give Sakshi.
He demands the statue walk hundreds of miles and speak. That's audacious.
It's beyond audacious. It's rooted in absolute faith in Pav. And this is where the miracle happens. He travels all the way back to Vrindavan, goes before the deity, and pleads his case.
Yeah.
And the deity speaks. Gopalji actually talks to him. But he asks, logically, how can I, an idol made of stone, walk?
A reasonable question.
But the young Brahmin's Pav is so strong, his conviction so complete. He throws the logic back at the Lord. He says, essentially, look, if you can talk, which an idol shouldn't be able to do, then you can surely walk. You have to walk your talk.
That's incredible. He challenged God based on the miracle already happening.
And it works. Gopalji agrees to walk. Why? Because of the Brahmin's Pav. The Lord says something like, you are seeing me as God, not just as stone. Because of your vision, I will walk.
Amazing. But there was a condition.
Right.
A test.
Yes, a crucial condition. Gopalji says, I will follow you. You walk ahead. You will hear the sound of my ankle bells behind you. Listen to that sound.
Okay.
But, he warns, you must never turn around to look back. The moment you look back, I will stop. I will freeze right there.
Wow. Okay, trust the sound, not the sight.
Exactly. So they begin this incredible journey, the young Brahmin walking ahead, listening day after day to the constant reassuring sound of the divine ankle bells behind him. Miles and miles.
Just imagining that. The faith required not to look.
Immense faith. But then as they get close, right at the boundary of his home village, maybe the excitement, maybe a flicker of doubt, who knows?
Oh no.
He stops. He listens.
Man.
In silence. The sound of the ankle bells is gone.
He looked back, didn't he?
He looked back, and there stood Gopalji, frozen mid-step, smiling. The condition was broken. The journey stopped right there at the edge of the village.
But he made it. He brought the witness.
He did. Gopalji instructed the Brahmin to call all the villagers. And right there, Gopalji gave his Sakshi his testimony confirming the vow.
And the temple.
The temple stands there to this day. Sakshi Gopal, the witness Gopal. A testament for hundreds of years to this event.
What an incredible story. And the takeaway, the synthesis, as you mentioned earlier.
It really drills home that core teaching. God, the divine presence, doesn't reside in wood or in stone. He resides in the bhakti heart. It was the Brahmin's bhav, his profound devotion, that animated the stone that made the impossible happen.
So let's bring this all together for someone listening. We started with the secret, God is everywhere. Then the obstacle, our own material perception, the salt ball. And the solution, cultivating bhakti, specifically the depth of it, the bhav. What are the practical steps then? How does someone start cultivating this bhav? How do they begin removing that salt ball?
The path laid out is quite clear, actually. Start small, start focused, Don't try to grasp the infinite all at once. Attach your mind, your attention, your feeling to God in one place. Pick something, a name you chant, a specific image or form you meditate on, a particular teaching you contemplate. Focus there.
Make that your anchor point.
Exactly, your anchor point.
Yeah.
And understand that the depth of what you perceive, how real it feels, how much it impacts you, it will be directly proportional to the depth of your bhakti, your pav, directed towards that point.
And how do we deepen it? Just wanting it isn't enough, presumably.
No, it requires active mental effort. The sources talk about repeated thinking, repeated contemplation. It's about consciously choosing the kind of knowledge you bring to your intellect. You have to consistently feed your mind and heart with thoughts, feelings, and knowledge related to your chosen point of focus. That's the work. That's the turning the milk into yogurt, adding the pepper. It's an active, conscious cultivation.
Right. So we began this deep dive exploring the seventh secret, this idea of God's omnipresence.
Right.
But it seems the real secret isn't just knowing he's everywhere. It's understanding that the knowledge itself doesn't do much until we activate it with bhakti, with that deep, focused devotion that starts to clear away our own perceptual filters.
Precisely. The knowledge is the map, but bhakti is the walking, the journey itself. And perhaps a final thought for you to consider. If the scriptures insist God isn't really in the idol, but in the devotee's heart, in their bhav, think about this. How might that initial step, just focusing your mind, repeatedly thinking about and contemplating God in one specific form or name, how might that very act begin to change your perception of that one thing? Even before you get to seeing him everywhere, how does that focused devotion start transforming your reality right from your chosen starting point? What point of focus makes sense for you to begin attaching your mind to today?
Something definitely worth contemplating. That brings us to the end of this